Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalam wa rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu ma ba'd. You're watching and listening to Islam Always, always broadcasting 24 hours a day, inshallah, and always plenty of free parking right here on the internet. And this is your host, Yusuf Estes, and along with me, my sidekick today is none other than our beloved Salim Morgan, who is here with us in Mo. We're here in Modesto, California, and we're having a pretty good time of it. Today already we've been able to pray Salat Fajr, and we're going to continue in our series. We're talking about something called in Arabic taqwa. What is a taqwa? And that is, we have discovered actually in our discourse on this particular subject, that this is to put a partition between us and the ghadab or anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to establish taqwa. And along with that, we also discovered that there are certain things that Muslims are supposed to do and not do, and all of that adds up to having a God-fearing consciousness, awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then fearing that day of judgment when we will have to look and see all of the sins and things that we've done. And we come up now to the subject where we are now in salvation. And what will be the salvation? We talked, first of all, that a human being is conceived and born in a state of mercy, the rahim, which is the womb of the mother. And this is in Arabic a very beautiful thing because it's talking about the mercy. We talked about the stage of the human being that he develops and then becomes aware of what's around him, becomes responsible. We talked about the test that this life is. And we talked also about what a person needs to do to repent to Allah. And now we're going to be talking about the salvation. Comes the day of judgment, and how can the person be saved? We also even touched on that a little bit, that a person would be could be asked, would you like to enter paradise based on your good deeds or on Allah's grace or His mercy? And it turns out that Allah's grace and mercy, even for one eye that He gives us, is far more than all the good deeds you could possibly do in your whole life. So with that, I'm going to now turn this over to more like an interview here with our brother and Sheikh. And I say this in a loving term, Sheikh, as in respected elder, not trying to put anybody on the spot. Well, you're not older than me, but I don't think. So, but I would like to ask from Salim Morgan a few questions and perhaps get clarification on some of the topics on this topic of the taqwa and how does that work with salvation. Well, what I want to ask you first of all is in regard to the Muslim on the Day of Judgment, what would be the one thing that would stand out in his favor more than anything else?
That would be La ilaha illallah, having not associated anyone with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in worship, which of course is a whole other subject, which would take days to deal with.
Well, as you were talking in our program last night, but the brief answer is?
The brief answer is that the meaning of Tawheed, when one is being accounted for his life, is, to sum it very briefly, that that you never gave to other than Allah that which belongs solely to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then that can be divided up into different sorts of acts of worship, of dua, of supplication, of fear in one sense of that word, not the biological fear, but the fear that belongs only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even we get to His names and attributes, such as attributing knowledge of the unseen to other than Allah. This becomes a violation of Tawheed. Everything that is Allah's exclusive domain must remain so, and that's the implementation of what we call Tawheed.
Okay, now, you know what comes into my mind? There's a hadith of the Prophet saying, teaching of Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, that when he had Mu'ad ibn Jabal on the back of the animal they were riding, and he said, Ya Mu'ad, remember this one?
Yes.
Many of them start that way, don't they? Ya Mu'adh. and he said, I'm here and at your service. And then they went along a little bit further, and he said, Ya Mu'adh. And he said, I'm here and at your service. And they rode on a little bit further, and he said it again, Ya Mu'adh. And he, Labbaik wa Sadaik. I'm here, I'm at your service. And then he told him that if a person even has iman like how much? How much iman? Small amount of iman.
Mustard seed.
As a mustard seed, that they would enter the paradise, right? And then in one narration, there's several narrations about this one, but in one narration it said if he just said La ilaha illallah, then that would be a way for them to go to paradise. And then I believe he said, shouldn't I tell the people about this? Like, make an announcement, get everybody excited or whatever. And he said no, because he was afraid, the Prophet ﷺ, concerned that then the people would try to rely only upon that. Is that close to the...
Yeah, except you have to qualify that statement.
That's what we want you to do.
Because it's clear from, if you take all of the evidence together, we understand that said does not mean just with the tongue.
Right.
It means, and there are other versions which explicitly say, he said it mukhlisan min qalbi, with complete sincerity from his heart. And like most things in this area, if you look in the Islamic history, you can find one group who took it the wrong way and ran off to left field. And so there was actually a deviation among the Muslims, people who said, it's only the pronouncement with the mouth. It doesn't matter what's in your heart. If you say it and you're in the club, you're in paradise, period. Taking it not literally, but beyond literally. But we have to understand the meaning of say doesn't just mean with the mouth. It means you say it and it's what's in your heart. Because words which are not the same as what's in the heart are of no avail.
So that get out of jail card is not really going to work, is it?
Not if it's just on the tongue.
Darn, I thought we had something going here. Okay. You use the word in Arabic, mukhlis. Mukhlis, for the benefit of our non-Arab subscribers who are watching our program right now, and you're saying, what is this word mukhlis? It comes from, by the way, when you hear a mu in Arabic, take that off and then listen to the rest of the word. Like mu'adhan, adhan. And you know who made the adhan is the one who is the mu'adhan. So if somebody is mukhlis, take the mu off and you got ikhlaas. Give us some sense of what is ikhlaas.
Well, you could say ikhlaas in this context is actually tawheed. But
okay, I'll say that.
Ikhlaas is purity and sincerity.
Purity and sincerity.
And it goes back to what I said earlier, not giving to other than Allah anything which only belongs to Allah. So if you ikhlasta, if you have devoted everything to Allah that belongs to Him, then this is ikhlaas. And among humans, ikhlaas means sincerity. But with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, it's tawheed.
Tawheed. We keep using this word tawheed. It comes from
Wahada.
Wahada. And wahada implies a number.
It implies an action related to a number, which and it has two sort of meanings. You have to take both of them. Well, more the second one. One is to make one, but another one is to deem as one, to conceive of as one. And this is the meaning of tawheed, because we cannot make Allah one. Allah is one, period. In worldly things, if you say, you made wahadta something, it means you made it from being divided into being one. We can't do that to Allah.
Could you say that you could make your concept one?
Well, I'm
your
saying
concept
that
of Allah.
But that's actually a second meaning of the word, which means to conceive of. So if you say, for example, saddaqta, which is the same mechanism in the verbs, and it comes from truth, it doesn't mean you made a person truthful, it means you deemed him truthful. It means you believe that he's truthful. So it's really the other, you don't have to change the meaning, it's just one of the meanings of wahada is not to make one, which is the more common meaning, but it's to deem as one, or to believe it to be one. As you say, saddaqta, you believe him to be truthful.
Or how about sadiq?
Well, that is a truthful one.
And then sadiq.
And Allah is wahid. And sadiq is just an extreme form of the same.
To confirm the
most truthful.
To confirm the truth.
Yes.
What is, I'm trying to remember when...
Siddiq is friend. Siddiq is the one I was talking about. Siddiq is what was given to Umar ibn Khattab. And in fact, it has its origin in Hebrew, in Zadiq. and was used almost the same way.